Hey, you guys, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. We're going to be talking about David Eason, Jenelle Evans Eason, as they had another court date. This time, David came prepared. He has his attorney, and he filed his response to Janelle's initial filing of to their divorce. And if you guys remember, Janelle was actually granted temporary custody of Ensley. Well, David is now demanding that he get custody of Ensley and that Jenelle pay him child support. So let's get into it, you guys. Which this ultimately led to Jenelle kind of spiraling on X. She has been posting on X nonstop. She's saying that David's girlfriend is posting about them, but I haven't seen David's girlfriend post anything. So I don't know what she's talking about. If anybody has seen David's girlfriend Kinley post anything, please let me know. I even checked out Reddit to see like what is Kinley posting. Did Reddit catch it? And did Reddit maybe post what she's posted? But no, I cannot find anything. I went to Kinley's Instagram. I watched her story. There's nothing there that could be referencing Jenelle. So I don't know. Right, Leisha. I mean, I doubt, you know, well, I was going to say I doubt David could get custody of Ensley considering this pending child abuse charge. Oh, but I don't know because he hasn't been found guilty of it yet. So the most they could bring up is that he's facing the charge. But a judge more than likely is going to think the way you're supposed to. You're innocent until presumed guilty. Please, Winnie the Cat, if you have some screenshots, send it to my email right here. I'm going to put it in the chat. If you have what she's posted, what Jenelle is talking about, send it to me. They will probably end up getting 50-50. And I feel like what is more than likely going to happen is Jenelle will probably have Ensley during the school year, and then David may get her during the summer. Possibly. Because neither one of them are decent parents. And David could potentially call August as a witness. And August has already put out stuff that if a judge heard about, like Jenelle allowing, first off, the fact that Jenelle drinks, smokes weed, and takes Xanax every day, that by noon, she's already drinking every day. This is things that Janelle's ex-boyfriend, August, has already put out. I mean, if David really tried to fight her and he has been keeping up with evidence, then he could bring up the fact that, within 3 months of her filing for a divorce, she moved across the country to be with another guy. And within a year, her and that other guy were broken up. And this is what they were doing on social media. They were going back and forth on social media. He was accusing her of this. She was accusing him of this. And if he subpoenaed August King as a witness to testify on his behalf, I don't know, because neither one of them, my goodness, you know what I'm saying? My goodness. So let's get into it. We're going to read this article that the Ashley put out, and we're going to talk about it. Well, the only reason I say he could potentially is because you know how legally officers of the law, judges are supposed to look at it as you were innocent until found guilty. So if David does not go to court and he's not found guilty of this before they go to court for custody, a judge may, her attorney may say he has pending charges, but the judge may look at it as, well, you have pending charges, but you haven't been found guilty yet. So, that might be the only thing that saves him is if they go before or if they go after and somehow the charges get dismissed, dropped, or he's found innocent, which I really don't think that's going to happen. I think the best bet he could do is probably accept a plea with that situation because they have the evidence of what he did. Okay, so let's get into it, you guys. Let's read this article. All right. The Ashley says exclusive. David Eason responds to Jenelle Evans' divorce filing, demands custody of Ensley and child support for their daughter Ensley, and more. Well, when you bring up character witnesses, so like, okay, my my older two kids' dad, and his ex-wife, they battled it out, and ultimately his parents ended up getting my ex's parents ended up getting their son, but they brought in character witnesses, right? That, and I've heard of this in one other case where they were going through divorce, they were trying to get custody, they were fighting for custody, and each person brought in character witnesses to testify to their character, but also who knew about the character of the other person. So in court, from my understanding, based off just these two situations that I know and things that I've heard, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but say David brought in August. He could say, they could put August on the stand and say, "Did you have a relationship with Janelle?" Yes. When did it start? At this point. And if it started before David and Janelle, and you're supposed to tell the truth. If you get caught lying, you could be held in contempt. Does it stop people from lying on the stand? No. I mean, look at Amber Heard. But you're supposed to tell the truth. But August could say, yes, we had a relationship from this point to this point, less than a year. You said on social media, here's your post on social media where you said that Janelle drinks, smokes weed, and pops pills all day. Is this accurate? Like, were you telling the truth? Yes. Here is a 911 call where you call the cops because Janelle was beating on you. Is this your call? Yes. Was she hitting you? Yes. Here's a body cam footage from when the cops showed up at Janelle's house. Were you guys drinking? Yes. You know what I'm saying? So, like, all these things can be brought up. And really, it's like, if the judge, we're not in the mind of the judge if he wants to believe it versus if he doesn't want to believe it. That's all up to the judge ultimately. It would be crazy to bring August as a character witness, but I would do it, honestly. And this is just me thinking about if I was in David's position. I'm not saying, I don't want people to think that I'm like on David's side here. Thank you, Joe. But I'm just saying, like, if this was me fighting against my ex over custody of our child, and 3 months after we split up, he had moved cross country, was with somebody else, withheld my child from me, would not allow me to call or text, got a restraining order that included said child, then constantly posted on social media how I never contacted the child when literally you have a restraining order on me that includes the child, so I can't contact you. And before you put that in place, I tried to contact you. I tried to talk to Ensley, and I have evidence that you never would let me. But if I was trying to get custody of and they dated someone else, and that relationship did not work out, and it was a messy relationship that things were posted on social media, and that person accused my ex of things that could help me potentially win custody of my child, that where her ex was literally saying, "You drink, smoke, pop pills every day. You allow your 15-year-old son to drive you around drunk while he's bragging about driving 100 miles per hour to my house at 4 o'clock in the morning because you had him drive because you were so wasted." Like, oh, I would absolutely call August. Well, if you're subpoenaed, I don't think you can refuse. I think if you're subpoenaed to testify, I don't think you can refuse. So so David's attorney could call August and say, "Will you testify?" And he could say, "No, I don't want to." But if he subpoenaed him, I think you have to. Oh, thank you, Ashley. I did it to match my shirt, but I was kind of unsure. Okay, if I'm subpoenaed to testify in a child custody case, do I have to? Yes, you are required to comply with the subpoena to testify in a child custody case, as refusing to do so can lead to legal consequences, including being held in contempt of court. A subpoena is a legal document issued by the court, and it commands that a person appear and testify in court. Consequences of noncompliance: refusing to comply with the subpoena can have serious consequences. The court may hold you in contempt of court, which could result in fines or even imprisonment, which is never, like, yeah. My Starbucks is back here, Colby. I actually was contemplating should I get one. Um, let's see. Exceptions. While generally you must comply, there are some exceptions. For example, you may be able to refuse to testify if providing testimony would violate a privileged relationship, like attorney-client or doctor-patient, or if your testimony would incriminate yourself. If you are subpoenaed, it's crucial to inform the court or the party who issued the subpoena as soon as possible about your situation and seek legal advice. You can file a motion to quash, which, if you believe you have valid reason not to comply with the subpoena, you can file a motion to quash or dismiss the subpoena. You can testify remotely. You may be able to testify remotely if you are unable to appear in person. Uh, all right. So if you're subpoenaed, you're served. Like, from my understanding, if you receive a actual subpoena, like an officer comes to your door and hands you the subpoena, I think. So you're actually like, so I think you would know if you were. Like, you receive a letter that says you have to come and for this reason. All right, so let's get into it. Wow, it's so tiny. And I got your email. I haven't looked at it yet, but we will. I'll look at it in just a second. They are still going through with the divorce. Yes. What was dropped was the way they filed the divorce, but not the actual divorce, from my understanding. All right. Let's see. It's been more than a year, but David Eason has finally responded to his estranged wife Jenelle Evans' divorce and custody court complaint. Let me make it a little bit bigger, guys. And David is shaking down Jenelle for custody of their daughter and the majority of their marital assets, as well as child support and more. The Ashley can exclusively reveal that David, whom Jenelle booted from their shared home on the land in February 2024, right before she filed for legal separation, finally filed an answer to Janelle's initial divorce complaint, as well as he made a counterclaim this week in court. While the exes have been battling out in court recently over a restraining order that Jenelle currently has out against David, this marks the first time that David has responded to Janelle's February 2024 filing, in which she asked for custody of Ensley, and she asked for child support, and she asked for the home, the land, the house, the land, and everything. So in her initial filing, Jenelle asked for all these things. A little bit, Marty. I've heard a little bit. I need to do an update on that. Thank you for bringing that up. Oh, you're probably Crystal. Um, so in the initial filing, February 2024, she asked for custody, she asked for child support, she asked for the house, the land, and everything. David, who now has an attorney who is working on contingency, addressed all of Janelle's allegations regarding his treatment of her and the kids. He also addresses why he hasn't seen or spoken to Ensley in more than a year. The action is going to break down David's newly filed court documents. So, as far as custody of Ensley, David admitted that he has not seen or spoken to Ensley since he split with Jenelle February 2024. However, he states in his answer that this is Janelle's fault, as she included Ensley on the domestic violence protection order against him. Jenelle included the minor child, Ensley Eason. Therefore, David is unable to contact the minor child, he writes. Doing this made it impossible for David to contact Jenelle or the minor child. I figured so after I said it. I was like, that's probably Crystal. David admitted that Jenelle has been the primary caregiver of Ensley for the last year or so. Before that, though, David claimed that he, not Jenelle, as she claimed in their divorce complaint, that he was the one who primarily cared for Ensley as well as Kaiser and Jace before the split. You know what? I want to do a poll real quick. I'm not good at this, but let me see if we can. Yeah, give me a second. I'm going to do a poll. Okay. I don't know. I gotta reword that. All right. Mm, all right. Why isn't it working? Okay. I just started a poll. Sorry. That is true, Kimberly. Okay. So the poll is: was Jenelle the primary caregiver of the kids before the separation? Meaning, did she take them to school the most? Did we see her taking care of them the most? Who did we see tending to the kids the most? Because listen, I don't like David Eason at all, not even a little bit. I don't like him even a little bit, not even a little bit. But unfortunately, while he may have been drunk while doing it, um, it was well known that David was the one that was the one handling the kids, and probably Marissa. I know, right, Winnie the Cat? Yeah, we did see Marissa taking care of Ensley a good bit when Ensley was smaller. Um, we know that Marissa kept them while Jenelle and David would go out of town. So I wish you could have added a hell no. I know, right? What exactly did I ask? Okay. So I just know back from when I watched it, like, and I've heard that before. Nathan has said it. Um, Nathan said it. David said it. Who else said it? Cortland. That Janelle, that she she wants you to take care of the kids. She wants you to tend to the kids. Like she relies on the boyfriend to tend to the kids or the husband. Like when it was just Jace and her and Cortland were together and they would have Jace or they would be around Jace. She relied on Cortland to do the most. Then when it was Nathan, Nathan had to do the most. And then when it was David, David had to do the most. Jenelle financially was the one that took care of them. Absolutely. Jenelle was the one that financially took care of them. But David was the one that I think physically was more hands on. Jenelle was in her she shed most of the time, like toking it up. You know what I'm saying? August said it too. You're right. August said it too. Because I'm thinking, I'm like, didn't somebody just say it recently? Like, didn't somebody just say it recently? Yes, August said it too. That he was the one. I mean, he was going to parent teacher conferences. He was meeting with principals when Kaiser was on the verge of getting kicked out of school. He went because she couldn't be bothered, you know? So he had to take Jace to the doctor when Jace hurt his hand. Exactly. So I do feel like from what we've seen, it was David. And Janelle literally just took the kids to Disney World, Disneyland. Is there a difference? I don't know. But she took them somewhere, Disney something. And afterwards, she did a video where she was like, "This is the first time ever that I've taken the kids anywhere by myself, where I didn't have somebody there with me, another adult helping me. This is the first time I've ever taken the kids to do something like this alone." And I'm like, you have a child that's about to be 16 and this is the first time you've ever done anything like that. Like literally when I had my daughter, like it was always us, like grocery shopping, here, there, everywhere. It was like my kids have been with me everywhere. Like what? I literally moved to San Antonio by myself, like with my kids in tow, like two kids by myself. Then when I got to San Antonio, I only stayed a week because I missed home and had to come back. But I took them to the zoo by myself. We rode around trying to figure things out, went and did things by ourselves. Like she just posted the trip to the, yes. And she literally was like, this is the first time I've ever taken them anywhere like this by myself. And I didn't have someone else there with me who was jealous or causing problems. Or so this time it was just a really nice like experience. It's the first time I've ever done it, but I didn't have anybody there like mad about something. I remember nursing my baby with my 4 and 5 year old. Exactly, right? If you watch the show, read the news, or the T split with August, she is a non contact parent unless it makes money. Yes, yes, that's a great way to say it. Jenelle is a non contact parent unless it comes to making content for her social media pages. 100%. Same. I've done stuff like that too, like 5 kids at the zoo alone. Exactly. I'm like, wow, that's the first time. I mean, my husband uh, worked, it was military and offshore. So, like, I was constantly doing things with him by ourselves. Like, if we wanted to go to the zoo, guess what? Unless I invited a friend to tag along, like, it was me and them, you know, malls. I mean, not too long ago, um, just a couple of weeks ago in February, I took my kids to Gonzales, and that's like a 3.5 hour drive down there, which all of them didn't go. It was my little girl didn't wanna go, she stayed here with her dad, but we went down there and stayed the night because my 17-year-old had a jiu-jitsu tournament, but it was literally me, my son Dakota, my son Christian, my son Eli, my son Caden, and Caden's girlfriend, and we all went down there, we went in an Airbnb, and we did the tournament, we went to the Mall of Louisiana, we went and ate, like, like and granted, they're older, but I've always been able to do stuff like that. Like, it's crazy when I heard her say that this is the first time that Shenanigans says, "I hope David uses that in court." She's a lousy mama. Honestly, that probably could be something that he could use in court to show, like, she has a 7-year-old. How old is Ensley? 7, 8, and a almost 16-year-old. And this is the first time she's admitting this is the first time that she's ever done anything with them alone, you know? Um, I know, me too. It's very hard to know, right? So let's continue reading. It's like, who's the better parent? When they're both turds, like, who do you choose? I don't know. All right. Oh, and David's not just saying he took care of Ensley, but he's saying he took care of Ensley, Kaiser, and Jace when they were together. David has been okay, this is his filing. David has been the primary caregiver of the minor child, Ensley, and the other minor children living in the marital home. And he was the one responsible for caring for the children, getting the children ready for school, feeding the children, completing homework, etc. He writes. David has been the one responsible for the minor child's daily needs. Right? Tipsy says, let's be honest, she probably did not watch K&E while at Disney. Jace, yeah, definitely an effed up situation. Yeah, David is a monster, but he did raise Ensley, and exactly. Winnie, that's true. And I feel like if the judge asked them, like if the judge was to take Ensley into the judge's chambers to say, before your mom and daddy split up, like what was a day at y'all's house? Like you get up and get ready for school, who woke you up? She'd probably be like, well, most of the time my dad. Well, who normally like helped you get dressed? Like, who normally was the one to take you to school? She'd probably say, oh, most of the time my dad. Well, who's the one that normally did like the cooking and stuff at y'all's house? I feel like she would she'd probably say, oh, mainly my dad. So like a judge could literally have her in the judge's chamber asking her these questions. And unless Jenelle like prepped her, which she might, because Jenelle has prepped her kids for like CPS. They are very well versed and well coached on what to say to CPS. So it probably would be the same with like a judge, but a judge could do that. Right, Christine? A monstrous. All right, David Eason was the one responsible for ensuring the minor children Ensley was dressed, fed, and ready for school, and almost always transported the minor child Ensley to school into her extracurricular activities, he wrote. This is quite opposite of what Jenelle claimed when she filed for and received temporary sole custody of Ensley after an August 2024 court hearing in which David did not show up for. Jenelle said back then, at the August 2024 hearing, I am looking to have sole and legal custody of Ensley, and I think I'm a fit parent. I think I've done most of the raising of Ensley, or all of the raising of Ensley since she's been born, making sure she's healthy, doing well in school, making sure she's at school on time, making sure she's in extracurricular activities. I pay attention to her mental health. Like, in his counterclaim, David disagrees, although he did note that both he and Jenelle are fit and suitable persons to have custody and supervision of said minor child. He asked that the court decide how custody and visitation of Ensley should be divided between him and Jenelle, given the circumstances of their nasty split. However, he asked that the court grant him the care, custody, and control of Ensley instead of Jenelle. In August, the judge ruled that David would not even be eligible to have supervised visits with Ensley until he consented to and took a psychological evaluation. Based on court records obtained by the Ashley, it does not appear that David has done so yet. However, last month, Jenelle filed another cause of action to demand that David take the test. This is for child support. Her initial court filing, Jenelle asked that David pay her child support for care of Ensley. In his answer that he filed on Wednesday, David stated that Jenelle should pay him child support for their daughter. David asked that an order be entered herein awarding reasonable support, maintenance, and substance of the minor child of the parties to be paid and secured from the estate, earnings, or other income of the plaintiff, Jenelle Eason, as provided by law. Jenelle Eason is an able-bodied female capable of providing support and maintenance for the use and benefit of Ensley when custody of Ensley is awarded to the defendant, David Eason. David Eason will be entitled to support from the plaintiff, Jenelle Eason, for the use and benefit of the minor child, he wrote. David did not specify how much child support he wants per month. He did, however, offer to split Ensley's out-of-pocket medical, dental, counseling, and other expenses with Jenelle. It is admitted that both parties have skills and trades which would allow them to earn an income sufficient to contribute to the support of their minor child, David wrote. His daughter, Marissa. All right, David was enraged when last year, after he left the land because he was put out, that Jenelle kicked his daughter, Marissa, out. You guys remember, I actually broke this story that he kicked Marissa out, and there were outlets that addressed the rumors that said that I was not telling the truth, that this did not happen. Well, I'm glad that it's acknowledged now because she absolutely did kick Marissa out. Jenelle admitted to doing this in her 2024 filing, slamming David for not coming up with a plan for Marissa's care following his departure from the home. Jenelle was the one who contacted Marissa's mom and stepdad to ask that Marissa could move in with them, and that angered David. In his answer, David seemed to be stating that he thought his departure from the land was only temporary, which is what it was. Or that's what she told him. She told David, you need to go stay on the boat because Jace is coming home. Let's figure out like what's going to happen with this situation with Jace, and then you can come back. That is how she got him out of the house. David had no idea that that was an effort to get him out so she could file for separation. Jenelle proceeded to kick David's 15-year-old daughter out. That's what David wrote in the court documents. It appears that Marissa is doing well outside the life on the land. She does still have a relationship with David, something Jenelle criticized the team for in messages that she sent to Marissa on social media, which were recently leaked online. The land and other property. Last year, Jenelle received temporary use of the couple's North Carolina property, the land. Although she has not lived there since the spring of 2024, when she and her kids moved to Las Vegas. In February 2024, Jenelle told the court that she was in need of the sole use, enjoyment, and possession of the property for the benefit of her and her minor children. She asked that the court grant her legal possession of the home and noted that David has stated that he would not let her have the house willingly. In his answer, David asked the court to divide the marital and divisible property unequally in favor of him, which Jenelle asked for the same thing. She asked that it be divided unequally in favor of her. So David is currently living at his girlfriend Kinley's home, by the way. Hello, Judge. Did I remember to mention how much effing raking I did on that property? Right. All right. As far as court fees, attorney costs, etc. David, who was voluntarily unemployed nearly the entire time he was with Jenelle, admits that he doesn't have the money to pay for all the legal expenses that he has from this divorce and the court cases. So he is asking that Jenelle shell out the cost for the divorce. David Eason, acting in good faith, who has insufficient means to defray the expense in this suit, including reasonable attorney fees, and the plaintiff, Jenelle Eason, should be required to defray the expenses of the suit, including a reasonable attorney fees when applicable. Jenelle and David are next scheduled to meet face to face in North Carolina courtroom to discuss the case next month. I think that is what's going to probably happen is they're going to probably sell the house and split the profit. All right, let me check this really quickly. All right, what did Ensley say? There, at the bottom. All right. So apparently this is what Ensley had to say. Thank you so much for sending this to me because I had not seen this. This is 3/18/2025. Telling the truth is fun. People should try it more often. You posted a TikTok flexing a bunch of credit cards, making it look like you were paying for it. So you don't really have the right to be pissy with people for thinking that. And Kinley put jokes. I don't know. Cool seeing how tight you are with your family. And she put, I lucked out. Thank you. For the record, I didn't pay for his lawyers. Y'all can quit with that. He has a public defender and another contingent attorney. I would never pay for someone else's mistakes, someone else's choices, and our consequences, which I did see that. Thank you for answering. I'm almost certain he is entitled to a divorce and custody attorney paid for marital funds. She can't just walk away and freeze him out of the account. I hope she is finally held accountable for her actions. That's what somebody said. She put, court judges, attorneys here suck. It almost makes me want to move back to Virginia. I don't know how any of this crap is legal. Exactly. Whoops. It is nearly impossible to move states with a child without the other parent consenting. That is very true. Usually, you cannot, in the middle of a divorce, you can't move to another state without getting the approval from the other parent. Exactly. It is nearly impossible to move states with a child without the parent consenting. Kinley, how did she get away with just packing up and leaving? Kinley said, no current custody agreement, so technically she can do that. And then somebody put, tell everyone how your perfect man has also, I don't know what that says. Tell us, little pigeon, why hasn't David completed the psyche eval if he's so stable? So I don't think Kinley said anything wrong. People were asking her or insinuating that she paid for his attorneys. She said, I didn't. Someone else said, like, how is she getting away with leaving with the kid? And she said, well, it sucks over here. The judicial system sucks over here. And because there's no custody agreement set in place. That's how she did it. I don't feel like she said anything crazy or wrong, but Jenelle is offended. Oh my, Janelle's a complete idiot. Jenelle is completely dumb. There's no custody arrangements. Here we go again. David's girlfriend mentioning things she shouldn't be involved in. I have full custody, sweetheart. That's what she means. Well, yeah, there's no custody arrangements, meaning David has no custody. Does anybody else pick up like her saying there's no custody arrangements? It's because he has no custody arrangements. He has no custody. How is Jenelle not understanding what Kinley is saying? It's not talking about Jenelle. People have accused Kinley of paying for his attorney fees. I've seen several people say that. And so she put it out there like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not paying for his fees. Like, he got a contingent attorney and he got a court appointed attorney. That's how he's doing it, not me, you know? And then somebody saying, like, how was she able to move? Usually you can't. She literally said there's no custody arrangements. He didn't show up in court. So guess what? There's no custody arrangements. You got custody. It was temporary, but you got custody. There's no custody arrangements. Here we go again. David's girlfriend mentioning things she shouldn't be involved in. Anybody can answer a question, even if they have nothing to do with it. I have full custody, sweetheart. He never showed to court, and it was granted in my favor. David has to get a psychological evaluation done before he's allowed to see my child. Honestly, if I was David, I would also ask that she have to do one. All your posts are about men. Jesus. She said, yeah, well, of course. I'm going through a divorce, and my daughter is sitting here saying, I don't have a dad because he doesn't reach out or even try to call. Now, keep in mind, I'm not one to defend David Eason, but he can't. Back when he did call and text saying, can I talk to Ensley? You would say, no. She's busy. No. Are you going to say blah, 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 blah again? No, you know? So, I mean, he leaked those messages. David leaked those messages with the Sun months ago, where he actually was trying to, not only was he trying to see and talk to Ensley, but he was trying to see and talk to Kaiser as well. He wanted to pick Ensley and Kaiser up and hang out with them, and Jenelle said no. And now they're saying he don't even try to reach out. Well, there's a restraining order. I mean, you're always sick when you want attention. Pathetic. I would be making videos if that was the case. What are you talking about? I love how I cut people out of my life and there's no articles being released. You want to know why there's no articles being released, Jenelle? Because when you don't have a boyfriend that you're treating like crap or that they're witnessing all this craziness, that's how there's no articles being sold. As soon as your kids get to the point where they can start selling articles, it's coming. So she took them to Disney. And a lot of people, okay, another opinion. Let me get another poll. I'm going to do another poll. I feel like Ryan Anderson over here. Hold on. Let's start a poll. Can I end this one? End poll. I'm going to start another poll, you guys. All right. If you take your 3 kids to Disney alone, should you be drinking beer during the day while hanging with the kids at Disney? Maybe that sounds crazy, but why ain't it doing right? I don't have another option. Come on. If you take your 3 kids to Disney alone. Should you be drinking beer during the day while hanging with the kids at Disney? Why not? Yeah, I want to create a poll. Why not doing it? Yeah, I tell you, I'm the worst creator ever. Like as far as like knowing how to work these things. Really. I literally just copied it to paste it back on there to redo it, and it didn't do. Okay, I'm just going to ask you guys. We're not going to do the poll because polls don't like me. All right, Jenelle took the kids alone to Disney, and she did a like what I ate in a day while at Disney. And she's drinking beer. She's like, of course, I had to give you some beer. And she's literally in this big old glass. She's drinking beer. So, of course, she's getting a lot of flack for that because, well, for one, according to August, she's a recovering alcoholic. According to what I've been told, and according to August, she drinks every day. Also, she's the only adult there with them. So, would you guys drink if that was y'all? Probably she had to, or she would have the shakes. Probably. Yeah, I know Ryan Anderson be doing them polls. She got a man before she leaves her last. I know another like her that will be another soon. I bet he's already in her life. She's trying to look good. There's been people wondering if she had a man at Disney, but we didn't see no man. I didn't see no man. That beer was huge. I know, right? Let me see if I can. Let's see. Y'all hear that? Hold on, let me see.
They have these pineapple spears throughout the park, and they're juicy. Pizza garlic pork rind, and
Hold on, I thought it was the next one.
honestly, it surprised me. They're not bad. You guys, I found
Here's her beer. Yeah, she has 3 kids at Disney with her, and I wonder how many she had. Was this her only one? For lots of people can have a beer and be okay. For starters, I'm sure it wasn't one beer, and secondly, she can't go a day without drinking. Exactly. Probably shouldn't drink if you're the only adult supervising the kids. Oh, I can understand one, but I think she's irresponsible enough without. Yeah. What did the kids eat? Well, she did say that they ate right after they got there because they didn't have breakfast. So they ate. What did what did she say?
this is everything I ate at Disneyland in one day. First, I started out with this cream cheese filled pretzel. It was actually really good and sweet. The cream cheese was just oozing out. I love the fact that Disney is always giving out fruit.
Well, there was another video where she showed like that they all ate breakfast that morning because they didn't eat breakfast at the hotel. They just got up and went, so they ate breakfast while they were there. I don't care who does it, it's wrong. You don't drink with minors. It's only a few freaking hours. Yeah, at Disney, like that's for them. That you like you are there for them. So make their experience good by not drinking. I don't know. Why do they even sell alcohol at Disney? I don't well, for adults, because there's probably adults that go by themselves. I don't know. You can't go a day without drinking, you probably have a problem. And according to what we hear about her, she can't go a day without drinking. That pretzel does look really good, doesn't it? Anyways, you guys, so that's where it's at right now. They have court again. David is gonna have to go a psychological evaluation for sure because I mean the judge ordered it before he didn't do it. So that's definitely he's gonna have to have a psychological evaluation. He needs to go ahead and have one. Yes, my ear is feeling so much better, praise God. Um, Today I haven't had any residual pain, but yesterday I did a little bit, but today it's been good. So praise God. So, anyways, you guys, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. I know it's like Because I'm like, who would Ensley be better with? True. So I don't like Mackenzie at all. I know you do, but even she went to the judge and asked the judge to drop the restraining order after all Ryan had done. Yeah. And that was because Ryan was in jail and he couldn't talk to the kids unless they were at his parents' house. And he told his mom, I would like to be able to talk to them more. Can you ask Mackenzie to drop the restraining order so I can actually call the kids when they're there? So Jen asked Mackenzie, will you drop the restraining order so he can call the kids when they're with you? And so she did. I was just curious, how do you get all the information or all your information from, and how do you know David wants or trying to demand to get custody of his daughter? Yeah, I was just playing. So the way I know this is because the Ashley Realities Roundup got the court documents and posted it. So when I first started doing this, I just would read articles about things that was happening. And outlets get court documents, like when celebrities are going through a divorce or a celebrity gets arrested, they get the court documents and they write articles. And then I'll read the articles and I'll come here and tell you guys what I read from the articles. And sometimes I'll read the articles with you guys. Just like a lot of times I'll read the articles on here. So that's how we know David and Jenelle had court. The Ashley Realities Roundup pulled the court documents and actually saw David's response. Now, the Ashley never shows the court documents. I have before, because once I started kind of understanding how the outlets do it, I started doing it too. So, like, sometimes I'll have court documents and I'll show them to you guys. I'll redact certain things out of them, but I'll show them. So, my information comes from either sources that come to me and give me information or articles. So that's where I get it from. Anyways, guys, leave me your thoughts. Who do you guys think Ensley should be with? David is currently living with Kinley. They live somewhat of a normal lifestyle. There's been no issues with them yet, but who knows? It could potentially come. Jenelle is on her own, and CPS has already investigated her while there. There has been issues with the kids getting kicked out of school. There's been issues with Kaiser getting mugged and beat up. So yeah, who do you guys? Where do you guys think Ensley would be best at? They have another hearing next month. Leave me your thoughts, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.